Hello, and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So we're here to do a reaction, and we're diving back into To My Star, Season 2. We're diving to Episode 9, the penultimate episode. We've only got one episode left after this. And y'all, it has been a journey. It has been such a journey. Not the journey I thought I was going to embark on when I dove into this series. If you've watched my reactions to it, you know that, because I say it just about every episode. But God, it's been such a good journey. And I said, I think in my last reaction, and then I know a number of you put down in the comment sections of at least the last reaction that I posted as of recording this, which I think was like episode 6 or 7. But a number of you guys were in the comment section saying, like, I don't care. Like, at this point, I don't care if they get a happy ending or not. The writing's just so good, and I want to see how the journey ends. And I'm like, that is 100% my sentiment. Like, I would obviously love them to get together because I love them together, but I feel like they've done such a great job writing this story that they don't have to end up together. I'm just excited to see where they decide to end this journey. So that's what we're here for. And I realized when I first started this dive into season 2 that I didn't have any To My Star merch, and I was like, oh well, that's bad. So I ordered some things, and I've had this one for a while, but I figured I'd break it out today. It's my first time wearing it, with, you know, the poster for this series, season 2. I was debating between a season 1, season 2 shirt. I might get a season 1 later, but I don't know. This one just called to me. It spoke to me. So we're gonna ring out the last 2 episodes in style. So let's just dive in and see what feels this makes us feel.
네, 아빠.
기사 봤다. 괜찮다더니 또 아픈 거야?
Okay.
걱정하지 마. 괜찮아.
다른 건 몰라도 아픈 건 걱정이 되지. 어떻게 안 돼? 꼭 이렇게 멀리 있는 부모 걱정시켜야겠어?
나한테 이거 아픈 건 아무것도 아니니까 걱정하지 마시라고요.
하나 터지면 다들 미친 사람처럼 달려드는 거 몰라? 우리가 얼마나 시달렸으면 너도 여기까지 왔겠냐?
Sure.
아빠. 밥은?
그냥 엄마랑 대충 먹었지. 소준이 너 병원 가. 대환성 더 안 나기 조심하고.
저도 밥 먹었는지 물어.
진짜 이럴 줄 알았으면 너 연예인 안 시키는 건데 진짜 후회중이다. 후회중.
Child.
돈은 많잖아요.
너 지금 돈 얘기가 나와? 우리가 뭐 언제 그런 거 바라고 그랬어?
촬영 가야 돼요. 끊을게요. 너무 신경 쓰지 말고.
소준아, 강소준.
Child. Mama and Daddy weren't even a fixture in my mind as something that was going to appear in this series. Lord. I usually skip this, but there's not normally a scene before the credits in this episode, or in the series, so I usually just stop after the credits, because, like, after watching it the first time and then realizing that no, they're not together, we're not picking up on a happy ending, I'm like, oh god, I don't know if I can sit through these flashbacks, because it's just like feels, it's like the perfect summary of the beautiful journey they went on in season 1. All within like a minute.
지우야. 서준이 형이 전화를 안 받는데 혹시 거기 있냐? 인터뷰할 게 있어서.
서울 올라간 거 아니야?
우리한테 내일 온댔는데.
Girl, now you got you boo worried. Child.
거기서 뭐하노?
뭐하노? 추운데 밖에서.
혹시 강서준 봤어?
아까 봤는데
언제? 어디 간단 말 없었어?
그런 말은 없었고 한주랑 등산 가봤냐던데.
등산 가봤냐고 물었다고?
응. 그래서 용천산 다닌다 그랬지.
왜? 야, 차도 없는 거 보니까 서울 갔는 같지? 치킨.
Oh, thank you for the meal, baby. But
한주에 먹는다 했으면 큰일 날 뻔했다. 한 마리밖에 없는데.
I mean, it does look good, but I got my baby to worry about.
아니, 미리 말했으면 2마리 사왔지. 이미 늦었으니까. 그냥 우리 딸랑구 많이 먹으라고 하는 기지. 그 물렁뼈가 맛있는 게 나이 다 쪽쪽 빨아보라.
Yeah, I don't mess with that.
근데 자는 무슨 일이길래 돈피지 그냥 막.
Girl, you've been wandering the streets this whole time?
배안타. 5년이면 내가 이길 줄 알았는데, 정이 이길 줄 알았는데, 내가 졌다. 한지우 때문에 악착같이 공부하고 열심히 노력했는데, 완벽해져서 돌아오려고 얼마나 했었는데.
Child. That's why you should never do something for a man. You should always do stuff for yourself.
수고했다. 울지 마라.
아이고, 바짝 익혔네. 프라이팬 한번 뜨겁게 달군 다음에 뚜껑 닫고 불 끄면 반숙처럼.
아 됐어 말하지 마. 지적 안 하기로 했잖아.
알겠어. 안 할게.
But that smile he had there was like, okay, I realize, I'm sorry, I'll stop. It's precious.
아 디코드 해봐. 알려줬잖아. D G 해보자. 준비 시작. 내 눈을 바라볼 땐
Gotta serenade your baby while y'all play guitar.
내 볼을 만질 땐그 볼은 달걀에 져 있잖아. 손끝이 스칠 땐 입술을 곱게 물고 있잖아. 참 고집이 있어. 정해놓고 입으면 변하다니까. 지우야, 잠깐만. 와, 이 바로 나올 것 같아.
He's like, girl, leave me alone. Oh, and this lighting.
축하합니다. 생일 축하합니다. 사랑하는 안지우.
He really did love him. And he loved him back too.
이제 저기 짠. 소원 빌어. 한 번에 꺼야 돼.
And look at all this effort that he went through.
가끔 이렇게
And it's like, I'm not making it a big party. I'm not inviting 700 people. This is just
그리고
a big celebration for you. It's just you and I.
또 나와봐 밖에. 한 번만 안 쓰게 좀 해줘 진짜. 진짜 잘 어울릴 것 같아. 한 번만. 아까 한 번만. 진짜 엄청 진짜 잘 어울려. 진짜 잘 어울려.
It's sweet. I do love this coat versus an overshirt. Either way, love it. Love the pattern. Oh God. Cinematography is so gorgeous. Look at how adorable they are.
그래서 하고 싶은 말이 뭔데?
그니까 내가 하고 싶은 말은
말해. 내 눈을 보고 말해.
지우야, 너 진짜 매력있다.
너무 못했어?
잘했겠어? 밥이나 먹자.
그러니까 내가 안 한다고 그랬잖아.
이거 저장해도 되지?
안 돼. 안 된다고 했다.
제발. 너무
He's like, baby, but it's so cute.
화장빨도 너무
I want to remember.
지우는 배우를 해야 돼.
And that's the camera footage.
지금 거의 약간 학원물에 되게 잘 어울릴 것 같아. 놀리지 마. 못 찬다며 언니.
God, this show.
너무 잘 어울려. 놀라지 마. 성수 잘 들어.
It's like they've been showing us these memories the entire series, and it's like now they're just kind of all falling into place, and it's just...
야 많이
Girl?
먹어.
내가 제일 많이 시키는 게
맨날 이런 치킨 사달라고 난리다. 잠깐만.
네, 성윤 씨.
네, 김 기자님.
확인했는데 한지우 씨 루머 퍼트린 걸 IP 주소 다 참말 맞네요.
그럼 마을 주민들 중에 한 명일 가능성이 높겠네요.
네. 괜히 고소했다가 일 커질 수도 있을 것 같은데.
아니라고요. 어디 강서준 배우가 그럴 사람입니까? 저희도 곧 인터뷰를. 아니 그니까 입장 발표를 할 거예요. 지금은 시간이 늦었잖아요. 우리 뭐 밤도 없어요? 왜? 집에 가도 된다니까. 얼른 가. 빨리 가. 괜찮아.
Did you tell him what you had to tell him?
대표님, 이런 와중에 죄송하지만 할 말이 있었어요.
Okay, you haven't told him yet. Good. What you
뭔 일
got?
있어? 뭔데?
내일까지 꼭 말을 해야 돼서요. 저 사실 아이돌 제의 받았어요. 2달 전에.
Okay.
뭐?
DC 사람 이니셜 아닐까? 뒤가 써이 뭐가 있노? 도시? 도시성 가진 사람 우리 마을에 없는데? 아니면 이 CH를 하나로 해서 도춘? 근데 어르신들이 인터넷을 했을 것 같지 않은데.
그런 거 알가? CH 다참잘 알겠는데 내 아이디도 CH280101인데
뭐 비슷한 아이디가 한두 개가. 그럼 이 18은 뭔데? 28은 뭘까?
입학년도 알가?
입학년도? 그럼 이 신컨 닷컨은 뭘까? 유아야, 너 반에 친구들 몇 명 없다 했지?
어디? 5명. 근데 내 친구들은 별로 없다.
그래도 한번 단서를 알려주긴 하자. 혹시 모르니까.
Child, someone at the elementary school?
관련된 사람일 수 있지 않을지.
I'm imagining someone related. I don't think these elementary school kids care. Although, there was that one little boy who was still in the room when y'all was sitting here yelling, and she was putting all the old people in their place, and they did focus on that little boy for like 2 seconds. Child.
근데 원래 하고 싶었니?
사실
I mean, he's got the face for one. Look at these eyes, these cheekbones.
클럽을 그렇게 가더니 그랬구나. 서준이 형 생일 때도 춤을 잘 추더니 선이 다르.
Well, it's not the awful news that I was expecting it to be.
그랬구나.
You want to be a K-pop star? You want to be an idol? Okay, I support you, baby.
그랬다.
죄송합니다.
아니야. 네가 죄송할 게 뭐 있어? 괜찮아. 괜찮지 그럼. 그냥 좀 섭섭해. 이런 중대한 일을.
죄송합니다.
I could have been your manager.
됐고. 신경 못 써줘서 내가 미안하지.
I like that they've been like boss employee, you know, worker co-workers dynamic, but they're still friends at the end of the day.
지우 사건 때문에 연락드렸는데요. 극단적으로 하기보단 언론 쪽에 아는 분이 있다고 하시니까.
닷컨, 신컨, 닷컨이 뭐고?
그러니까 심컨 각건이.
근데 신컨각컨 있잖아요. 그거 게임할 때 쓰는 말인데. 신의 컨트롤, 각 컨트롤.
신의 컨트롤, 가세 컨트롤.
아이고 깜짝이야.
설마.
Child,
놀라라, 뭔데.
she know exactly who it is.
강소준!
Is it a little boy? Baby. Like, girl, you good? Girl.
한주, 무슨 일이야? 한주, 장난치? 나 핸드폰 없는데. 나 괜찮아. 다른 사람들한테나 전화해. 사라진 줄 알고 다들 걱정하고 있어 지금. 이미 신고했을 수도 있고.
And I came out here by foot searching for you.
나왔나? 임마!
Low boy, what I say?
다른 게 아니고 그 기자 얘기해 주려고. 방해 많이 된 건 아니지? 에이, 이미 알고 있었구나. 자기 혹시 그 다음 주에 시간이 안 되지? 안 된다 그랬지? 바쁜데 내가 자꾸 묻네.
That frantic energy when you're on the phone with somebody you like and you just can't keep still, so you start flicking lights off and on and you start playing with things on the desk around you.
넌 뭐 한다고 여기까지 왔냐? 나 미안한데 가졌으면 좋겠는데 혼자 있고 싶어.
나 반지랑 목걸이 안 버렸어. 못 버렸어. 안 버리고 묻어뒀어. 저쪽에.
그래서
Right, use your words.
끝났잖아 우리. 뭐 이제 와서 다 깨달았다. 뭐 다시 받아달라 뭐 그런 거 아니지? 설마. 그리고 또 뭐 네가 왔다고 내가 바로 다 받아주고 뭐 그럴 거라고 착각하는 것도 아니지? 구질구질한 것도 끝이 있어.
Facts.
그 원래 최선을 다한 사람은 미련이 안 남는 법이거든. 할 말 없지?
I mean, I'm trying, but you keep talking. Oh, baby.
가 그럼. 내 휴식 방해하지 말고.
Oh, I mean, I get it. He did the same to you. I just hate to see it happen.
Yeah.
We're so close to reconciliation. I hate to see it happen.
몇 시고?
몇 시인데?
잠깐 오늘 토요일 맞지?
맞다, 걱정 마.
She's like, girl.
아니 근데 한주한테 범인 잡았다고 알려야 되는 거 알까? 한지... 뭐고?
You better do your best to try and make it up.
휴식 시간 끝났어?
지우야, 들어와서 기다리라. 대체 어디 있었어? 그러니까 일단 기사를 봤니?
봤어. 무시하면 돼. 지나가. 한두 번도 아니고.
뭐?
나 피곤한 거 안 보여? 빨리 가. 나중에 얘기해. 가만히 있지 말라며. 사실이 아닌데 왜 가만히 있는데 너?
God, better put his truth on him.
미안한데 난 사실이야.
인터뷰하자.
싫어.
강서준, 인터뷰하자.
싫다고. 둘 다 당장 나가 내 집에서. 나가. 진심으로 하는 말이야.
뭐 애기가 되기로 했어 이제? 어? 애 그 누구야 그 유하 걔도 형처럼은 안 하겠다 어?
Don't you bring Yuha into this. That's my best friend.
그 자식은 어? 됐다 됐어 난 간다 넌?
난 일단 있을게.
Like, I'm gonna try and reach him.
말세 경상도에서 서울까지 왔다 갔다 이게 왜 개고생이야 다들 어휴.
I know you just frustrated. I know. Being a good supportive friend, it's not easy all the time. I wish I had a man who I told to leave and instead he went and did housework. I'd be telling men to leave all the damn time. Heaven knows I hate doing housework. I love cooking and making a mess, but I hate the cleanup. Is it too soon to shower together to conserve water because we're saving the planet on this channel?
안녕하세요 대표님. 타. 오디션은 잘 봤어?
네. 여기 하니까 느낌이 좀 이상하네요, 대표님.
이제 곧 뒤에 타고 다닐 건데 뭐가? 거기 조수석 사람 열어봐. 그거 하얀 거.
이거요?
응. 퇴직금은 별개고 앞으로 돈 벌기 힘들 텐데 그거라도 챙겨. 쫄지 말고 임마.
대표님.
우리 수평적으로 가자. 잭이라고 불러. 나 영어 이름이 잭이거든.
I was like, who the hell's Jack?
그동안 신경 못 써줘서 미안하다.
아니에요. 제가 더 잘했어요.
야, 너 정도면 진짜 잘한 거야. 그 전에 있던 서준이 형 매니저는 그냥 3시간 40분 만에 집에 갔어. 가자. 맛있는 밥 먹자. 우울한데. 잘해라 홈나. 어딜 가서든.
Like, girl, I'm back. I just went home to shower. If you didn't want me here, you should probably consider changing the combination to your lock.
열릴 줄 몰랐는데 냄새나는 것 같아서 좀 씻고 왔어. 이거는 밥 안 먹었으니까 밥 해주려고.
네가 뭔데? 밥을 왜 해?
Use your words. Not just your beautiful puppy dog eyes.
나는 그 멀리까지 갔는데도 인터넷에 네 이름 세 글자만 치면 바로 네 소식을 알아. 서울에 네가 자꾸 보여서 도망쳤는데도 결국은 똑같았어. 나 이제 그만 도망칠래.
Maybe.
나는 네가 이렇게 계속 밀어내면 나는 너처럼 그냥 계속 못 가. 거기로. 뭐야? 협박이야?
I hope not. Okay, no. I don't like ultimatums.
부탁이야. 나 좀 안아주라.
Please, that's like my solution to 90% of these things in series. Give them a hug, please. No, god damn it! Why? Every fucking time. Is there a pre-credit scene? Okay, because we haven't had one of these in a few episodes. Okay, so this show really knows how to just like it takes you on a wild roller coaster ride over the course of like 28 minutes. It is remarkable to me how much they managed to squeeze into a single episode of this series without it feeling like overpacked or like too much is happening, but still so much happens. There's so many developments, plot lines, storylines being explored, and it's like, oh my goodness. Where like some other series, they need hour-long episodes to do, and there's nothing wrong with them having hour-long episodes. It's just remarkable to me that they are able to get as much into these 28 minutes that they are able to. And it's just, oh god. So we started off the episode with a phone call from Sejun's dad, which like I said, after that phone call, I was not even expecting the parents to come and play any kind of active part in the series. Like, yes, we know that his parents left him, and you know, he's got these sort of abandonment issues when it comes to his parents, and it's been referenced a number of times, but I thought that we were just going to leave them as reference points for his personality. I didn't think we were going to get actual concrete interactions with dad. And after I finished watching the episode here, I went over to Vicky and looked at that scene again there, because I know there's different captions and parts for, you know, different episodes. So I wanted to see if that was one of the conversations that had slightly different captions, because I got the general idea of what it was saying the first time when I was watching it through with you guys, but I was like, I feel like there could be something potentially lost in translation, or that might be translated slightly different, that would make this conversation make a little bit more sense. Because the way I was reading it here from the Gaga Ooh La La, it seemed very much like Dad was very cold and standoffish. Like, yeah, he's calling the check almost out of like obligation, but he felt very just standoffish, where in the Vicky version, still a little bit cold and dismissive, but it felt more like a worrying parent calling to check on their child because they heard that their child was sick, versus like out of an obligation, like, okay, this is my kid, I should probably check to see if he's okay. It felt more like, okay, we're concerned. But highlights we got from that conversation were that his parents left him because he wanted to be an idol, and they were getting harassed on the regular. The joys of being related to famous people, I can imagine. And you know, that lifestyle's not for everybody. Like, we explore that a little bit with Sejun and Jiwoo's relationship, where it's like, you know, the big flashing lights, all the people, the partying, all that kind of stuff, it's not for everybody. The paparazzi, some people thrive in that, some people can live in that kind of world, but not everybody wants that. So just because I love you and you're my son, you're my baby, this is the career you chose, I don't want to be a part of that sort of lashing. I like my privacy. I like being left alone. I like just living my life. So they ultimately had to up and move because they were tired of being harassed, which left Sejun with these sort of abandonment issues. And I'm not necessarily going to say that his parents are wrong for leaving, but it feels to me, just the way that Sejun feels, the sort of like abandonment issue he has, it feels like they didn't leave on great terms. Like, it's one thing if, okay, I'm a celebrity, I'm a pop star or whatever, and you know, everybody's wanting to know everything about me, and I live in the same city with my parents, blah 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 blah, they're harassing my parents, blah 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 blah, and my parents like, Topher, I love you, but I can't live like this. I can't live like this. And I know you have no control over this. So we're going to leave. I'd be like, okay, obviously I love my parents and I don't want to see them in that situation. I don't want to see them leave. I like seeing them on the regular basis, but I understand. And like, if we had like just a conversation about it, okay, I understand. You go, I'll come visit, blah, blah, blah. But it feels like that wasn't the case. It feels like, however his parents left, they left on not amazing terms, or they did not leave in the best of ways. And now Sejun has these abandonment issues, which, you know, Jiwoo's ghosting probably did not help in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, so it was very interesting to see that dynamic. And another thing I caught out of that conversation, which I've noticed with Sejun throughout, I think actually both series. Again, I've mentioned these character traits have been present in the first series and they've kind of carried over and just been fleshed out this season. But like, he asked his dad, have you eaten? It's like, Dad's like, yeah, I ate with your mom a little while ago. You should really go to the hospital, or you should go to the doctor, see blah blah blah. And he's like, Dad just continuing on with his worry train, what he's getting on, and you know, focused on just whatever. And Sejun's like, Dad, can't you ask me if I ate anything? And Dad just continues on with, you know, I regret letting you be an idol at this point. If I had known, I never would have done blah 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 blah. So clearly they're not very happy about him being an idol in any way, shape, or form. But again, I feel like that line of questioning and the fact that Sejun doubled down on it and was like, hey, can't you just ask me if I ate anything? That is one of his ways of showing that he cares about someone. It's a way of saying I love you without him actually saying I love you. We all have different ways, whether it's, you know, romantic, family, friends, whatever. Like, I'm very big on, whenever I'm hanging out with my friends, we're going home, okay, text me when you get home. Just so I know you got home. yes, I could say I love you too, but it's just a way. Various different ways of saying I love you, I care about you without actually saying the words. So him, very big on, have you eaten? Have you eaten? Worried. Asked you all the damn time. It's his way of like, hey, I care about you. I'm worried about you. I want to make sure you're okay. And he was not getting that same thing reciprocated to him from his dad. And it's like, okay, that just reinforces in his mind the distance between he and his parents. Because, like I said, he's got these abandonment issues with his parents and how they left. So the fact that, you know, he's trying to extend an olive branch and be like, hey, have you eaten? Are you okay? And he's not getting that same thing back in return. It's like, okay, they don't care about me. They don't love me. Nobody loves me at this point. It's like, sad face, baby. Makes my heart ache. But yeah, then we have the intro credits, and then Mr. Kim called Ji-woo. Was like, hey, is Sejun there? He's not been answering his phone. He's like, no, he's not back over there. He's like, no, he said he wasn't come back till tomorrow. And you could see the panic in Ji-woo's face. It's like, oh man, because Ji-woo was already going through some stuff. Last episode when we left him off, he reopened his phone for the first time in God knows how long, and all of the messages started flooding in, all of the pictures started flooding in, and he's just like, emotional city. He is living in his feels right now, and he is regretting things that he has said and done, and he wants to make some form of amends. So hearing that phone call from Mr. Kim's like, oh shit, no, where the hell is he then? I hope he's not going to do anything stupid. I swear to God, I gotta go find my baby. So then Yuha and her mama roll up at the same time with some fried chicken, like, hey, blah blah blah. He's like, have you seen Sejun? He's like, yeah, I saw him earlier. He was asking me if you like to go to the mountain or something. He's like, the mountain, bye girl, bye. And so then he bikes his ass up to the mountain. Meanwhile, Yuha and her mama sit down for dinner, and then ex-girlfriend, who at this point I'm gonna stop trying to remember her name because it's I want to, it just, I pull up the my drama list, cast list at the beginning. I'm like, okay, this is her name, cool, whatever. But then I go through the episode and it just floats out of my head. For some reason, it's not sticking up in here, and I'm like, okay, fine. I'm just gonna stop fighting it at this point because we only got one episode left. But she arrives all heartbroken, and I got the answers to my questions that I had last episode with, was she trying to get back together with him all this time? Because I never really got those feelings. Like I said in my last episode reaction, I got the feelings that she was trying to reconcile, make amends with the situation where they left things, but I wasn't necessarily getting the vibe that she was trying to rekindle a romance. I could see it, like, looking back on it, like, I can see, yeah, it could be interpreted that way, but, like, I wasn't getting, like, intense vibes, like, oh, yeah, I'm coming back into town to rekindle this romance. But I guess that's what she was trying to do. She was trying to rekindle this romance a little bit. So she was all heartbroken because her master plan was to go off to the Americas and study and become a super successful woman and just come back and be like, look at how amazing I am. Don't you want me? And that didn't work because by that time he had already found someone else, and he fell in love and got heartbroken again, and now his heart is all hung up on that guy. So it's like, I feel bad for her a little bit because she wasted all that time. But like I said there, you should never do anything like that for a man or for a woman, for somebody that you're interested in romantically. Do things for yourself. You want to move to America, you want to pursue this career, you want to do this, that, and the other, fine. Do it for yourself. You want to be super successful in this business and do that, fine. Do it for yourself. Don't do it for somebody else. Because if it comes to the situation where that somebody else is no longer available, or they're not in a position to appreciate the efforts that you went through, well, that's gonna suck for you because you wasted a good part of your life trying to do this for this one person, and this one person ain't got no interest anymore. So you should do things for yourself. The dick ain't that good that you need to model your entire life around trying to win that dick back. It ain't that good, girl. I don't care what anybody says. So yeah, I felt a little bad for her, but you know, they had a nice little dinner cheering up session, her, Yuhan, her mama, and in the meantime we were flashing over to the forest where Jiwoo is trying to find Sejun, and then Boss, I hope that wasn't playing this whole damn time. Normally I mute the episode. I thought I had it muted because it just auto plays anytime I scrub through it. Well, that would be awkward if I've been talking this whole time and that's just been playing. I haven't been paying attention to the screen, but hopefully that wasn't the case. Fingers crossed. But it's muted now, so I can scrub through freely. But yeah, we jumped over to the mountain where Jiwoo is searching for Sejun, and amidst his, like, you know, panic looking and climbing the mountain and this, that, and the other, we're getting all these flashbacks of him and Sejun's relationship. And again, it's stuff that we've seen this entire series. Flashes we've been getting this entire series. They're all parts of the intro credits, for, you know, Christ's sake. And like, they just had a magical way of just taking everything that we've seen it a million times over at this point, and just fleshing it out even further, giving it context. This is what happened here. This is what happened here. You were just seeing these little clips set to some piano instrumental. Here's what actually happened that day. Here's why the camera is facing Jiwoo at this particular point. Here's why the camera is now on Sejun. Here's why this is happening, this blah blah. And it's like, oh my god, these moments again are so sweet. I said it in episode 1 and episode 2. Every time we do one of these flashbacks, it is the sweetest thing, and it is all the feels that I was expecting to get coming into this series, because those were the feels that I was getting at the end of the first season. So it's like, it warms my heart every time we flash back and see just how much they truly cared about each other. And one thing I loved about that flashback, when he was teaching Jiwoo how to play the guitar, I loved that that moment didn't feel staged, if that makes sense. Because there's a lot of BL series, I've watched a lot of BL series, y'all, and there's a lot of BL series where one or two of the actors have great singing voices. They're, aside from being fantastic actors, they are fantastic singers too. And at some point during the series, you know that they're going to whip out a guitar, or they're going to hop on stage and just start singing for whatever reason, and in the universe. But like, as a viewer, I can see that, okay, this moment was put in specifically so that this actor could sing, so that we could have a single, and we could put this single on iTunes and you go buy it, blah blah blah. Like, not saying that the moment isn't beautiful, not saying that it doesn't fit in the scene or whatever, but it feels like this moment was built specifically for the reason to have them sing, not that they happened to be singing in this world. Where, like, this scene where he was teaching Jiwoo how to play the guitar, Jiwoo was just strumming, and then they just start singing together. It felt very, very natural. It felt like a moment in time that we weren't supposed to see. And not saying that their singing wasn't good or anything, but it felt very raw and authentic. It felt like just two people in love just sitting there playing guitars and just happened to be singing to each other. Like, they weren't singing out. They weren't trying to sing to impress or be anything. They were just singing because they were in love and just looking at each other, and just, it was a good time. And it just felt authentic. It felt real, and I appreciate that so much. Again, down to the direction. Love it. Love that choice. And then I feel like after, when they stopped playing the guitar and they were just like laying back, it kind of faded into a more studio recorded version that they just played in the background. I'm like, okay, cool, that's beautiful. But I love that moment there with them and the guitars, it didn't feel like a staged moment orchestrated to get this person to be singing in this episode so that we can have a single to put on iTunes so we can go buy. Again, I'm not knocking any of those series that do that, because again, they do it well, and I love the singles. I have most of them on my phone. Like, they're fantastic singles, but like me watching a lot of times, I'm like, okay, how are we gonna get this person on stage so that they can sing? Okay, that's how we're getting them on stage so we can sing. Oh, that's how it feels very staged. So yeah, I love that moment there. And just all those flashback moments, they were super duper sweet, super duper sweet. The birthday party, them roaming through the streets, him trying to pop his neck pimple because he's obsessed, them brushing their teeth, it's just them acting, Jiwoo helping him run lines, and he's like, I'm not a great actor. He's like, you're adorable. Can I videotape you? Like, it's just the sweetest interactions, and I love it. I love them so much. Then we flashed over to, was it Homin and Mr. Kim when he was finally giving him his news, like, hey, and y'all, I didn't know what this news was going to be, because, like, we got the little flash of it last episode where they were in the cars, like, I have something I need to tell you, and you could tell that it was something serious to him, and I thought it was something in relation to Sejun, but no, he's like, I got an offer to be an idol a couple months ago, and yeah, I would like to pursue that. I'm like, oh, okay, go ahead, girl. Like, I get it, he's your boss, and, you know, it's kind of hard to, I guess, put in like a 2 weeks notice or, you know, quit sometimes, especially when, like I've mentioned, they seem like not just boss and employee, but like they seem like friends, genuine friends. But in the, you know, feel of them being genuine friends, Mr. Kim was fine with it, and as we saw through the rest of the episode, he's very supportive of it. He's like, you know, sure, I would love to have you here working for me forever, but you go live your life, baby. I love you. We got this. So, you know, that was nice interaction. And then we had the whole Nancy Drew moment of who was the person who submitted this information to the article, who leaked this about Sejun or about Jiwoo, who would do this, and everyone's trying to figure out, and they're trying to figure out what these letters are, and it's like, okay, this could it be the school, because my school ID is DCH blah 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 blah, and they're like, okay, well, what's this number? That's probably the year that they entered school. Okay, what's this, blah blah blah. And then she's like, I don't think anybody in my class would do this. I don't think it's any of my friends. There's only 5 of us in class, but we're talking about. And then they call Mr. Kim, and he's like, oh, blah, 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 God of War, whatever, the God language, God control God, something like that. And all of a sudden that flipped a switch in Yuha's mind. She's like, oh, no, I know who exactly it was. And then, like, I feel like just before we got to that point, but when we realized it might have been someone in the elementary school, when we made the connection to elementary school, like, I had that, I was joking, but also kind of semi sort of quasi-serious. I was like, I wonder if it was that little boy, because I remember in that scene, I don't think I said anything, but I remember thinking to myself, because we lingered on the little boy for like 2 seconds in a passing shot after Yuha and her mom stormed out. Yuha's mom was reading everybody in the room the right act about how they need to grow up, this, that, and the other, and then they storm out. And then as they were leaving, we panned on that little boy for like 1 or 2 seconds, and then we flashed to the next thing that we were focusing on in the scene. Very quick, very brief thing, but I remember thinking to myself, like, why is this little boy here? But, you know, Yuha was also there, so I'm like, okay, I didn't make anything big of it. I'm like, okay, it's probably someone's kid, and maybe they couldn't find a babysitter or whatever, but okay, you know, it's strange that we would focus on him, we would show him, and it wasn't really a focus, but I was like, okay, whatever, and I just like cast it off to the side. I'm like, okay, not a big deal, we'll leave it alone, blah blah blah. And then as soon as they said, you know, oh, what about elementary school, I'm like, I wonder if it was that little kid, because he was in that room that whole damn time while they were spilling all this tea and yelling this, that, and the other, and he a little kid, he don't know any better. He don't know who the hell these people are that they're talking about. He knows who this Jiwoo person is because he's seen him. He's seen him with his own eyes. He knows who Sejun is. He's seen him with his own eyes, but he doesn't know who Jiwoo's parents are. He doesn't know this, that, and the other. He's just a sponge. That's one thing about little kids. you gotta be careful what you say in front of them, because they are sponges and they just absorb every damn thing. They may not understand what it is they're absorbing. They may not understand what it is you're saying, but they will absorb what you're saying, and then they'll go repeat it to somebody else, and that somebody else may understand. And the little kid doesn't realize what they're doing. They're just like, hey, what does this mean? Or blah, 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 blah. Like, oh, I heard the blah, 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 blah. So I feel that's very much the case. The little kid wasn't doing anything malicious. He's just repeating what the adults were telling him. He's just repeating what he heard. So, you know, innocent mistake. He didn't mean anything, but, you know, again, you gotta watch what you're saying in front of kids. Kids too grown and they don't even know it. So yeah, that little mystery's been solved. Not that I think it's going to really change anything, but at least we know who let the cat out of the bag. And then Ji-woo found Sejun in the forest, and then he fainted a little bit, and Sejun's like, girl, wake up, oh god, I gotta call the police, I gotta call 911. He's like, no, call somebody else, I'm fine, everyone's worried about you. And then they had that little heartbreaking conversation where Ji-woo was starting to use his words a little bit, and Sejun was being difficult, but I understand. It's like the roles have reversed. Sejun, he said it perfectly, like, stupidity has its limits, and there's only so many times that somebody can get rejected and abused and just told no before they finally stop trying. So we reached that point last episode, or the episode before, where he's like, I give up, and it broke my heart. But yeah, he's like, he reached that point of giving up. Although, I don't know if he's fully reached that point yet, because he said he threw away his ring. But at the top of the episode, before his phone call with his daddy, we saw him put his ring in his pocket. Now, we didn't see what happened after that point. Maybe after he got off the phone, he threw the ring and ditched it somewhere. We don't know. But I feel like that ring is still in his pocket. That's just me. But yeah, he reached that point where he's like, look, you've told me no too many times. You broke my heart too many times. So I hope you didn't think that you were going to come and, you know, say something and I was just going to welcome you with open arms, because that's not the case. I'm not stupid. And it sucks because, again, I would love to see them together. And now that Ji-woo is finally coming around and realizing the error of his ways and he's trying to make amends, it's like he's pushed Sejun too far in the other direction, and it's like, oh man, we just gotta pull you back to come back, baby, come back. But yeah, that was a tough conversation. I can see how difficult it is for Ji-woo to express himself sometimes and to get certain ideas out, but I am seeing him make the effort now, which shows how important Sejun actually is to him, because if Sejun wasn't important to him, he could just not try. Like, it's very easy to not try, but the fact that he is trying to step outside of his comfort zone and express himself in these uncomfortable situations for somebody that he cares about, it's proof. It's proof he cares. I've been saying it this whole time. He may not be in love, although I'm pretty sure he's still in love now, but he cares at the end of the day. So then Sejun dismisses him, tells him to go home. He's like, fine, I leave, bye. And then Sejun goes back to the house, and Ji-woo's just sitting there waiting outside his door. And I know that Sejun has dreamed of this day so many times, that he would just come home and finds Ji-woo sitting there waiting for him. But again, he's at that point right now where he doesn't want to accept Ji-woo. He doesn't want to go back into that. So he's pushing everything away. And we had the conversation argument with Ji-woo, Sejun, and Mr. Kim. Mr. Kim storms out, then finds Ho-min, and we had that whole nice little moment in the car. Meanwhile, Ji-woo stays behind. He cleans up the house, does the dishes, realizes he's funky, goes and takes a shower, and then comes back later. And we had that last little bit of conversation there where Ji-woo's basically like, look, I like you. These are not the words he used. I don't remember the exact words he used, but general idea. I like you. I'm sorry. And you keep pushing me away. I'm trying, but I'm not you. I'm not you, and I can't try forever. Like, if you keep pushing me away like this, I can't keep coming back. Which to me, at first when I read that line, I was like, girl, what exactly are you saying? And then Sejun's like, girl, what exactly are you saying? Are you threatening me? I was more like, what are you saying? Are you threatening yourself? Because if you've seen my reaction to other series, I've explained where I've been in that situation where people are like, if you break up with me, I'm going to do this, that, and the other to myself. And it's like, child, don't get me started. But that's where my thought went first. I'm like, are you threatening to hurt yourself or something if he keeps rejecting you because you can't handle it? And then Sejun's taking it from the other end. They're like, are you giving me an ultimatum? Are you threatening me in some way, shape, or form? And Sejun's like, no, I'm just telling you, I'm begging you, please, just talk to me, take me back. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to present you with an ultimatum or say like, if you don't get back with me, something bad's gonna happen. I'm just saying, I don't have the inner strength like you do. I don't have that persistence. It's already hard enough for me right now to be here and to be saying these words. It was hard enough for me when we were at the campground or on the mountain, me trying to talk to you. Like, it is very hard for me to do this. It is very difficult task, very outside of my personality, and I don't know if I have the strength to continue to do this because it takes so much out of me. I understand that introverted nature. I understand it. Trust me, I get it. I feel you, Jiwoo. It's like, I can only do this so much before I just don't have anything left in me. So please don't make me do what I made you do. Please just talk to me. And I'm like, baby, I get you, I understand. And then they end the fucking episode because they're rude. They are rude and disrespectful. We only got one episode left, so I don't have to flip any tables or anything. They can't end the episode again. Well, I guess they could. I was gonna say, they can't end the next episode in the middle of a conversation, plot twist or whatever. I'm like, well, who knows? Maybe they're prepping for season 3, which I'm like, Lord, I don't know if my heart can handle a third season. But yes. So again, writing is incredible. Character development is incredible. Everything about this second season is just amazing. It's so well done, and I'm excited to see where this last conversation goes. So I'm gonna stop babbling so I can dive into the final episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications so you'll be notified when all of my shenanigans get posted. If there's anything else you'd like me to react to, be sure to leave it down in the comments and I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you're more than welcome to join us over on Patreon. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Love ya. And before you guys go, a shout out to my amazing patrons. I can't begin to express how thankful I am for your support. And if you guys would like to join us over on Patreon, the link is down in the description. Love you guys.